Good evening. My name is Kevin Williams, Assistant Director at the Southern Indiana Career Technical Center. We're excited to have you join us tonight for our virtual open house. Tonight we're going to explain programs from the communications and public service program areas. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment box below or go to our website www.sictc.com for additional information. Thank you. Have a good night.
Hi, my name is Janine Miner, and I am the instructor for Graphic Communications Digital Media. And this is our design area right here. And our students spend a lot of time in this area. They do a lot of designing. We use the software Adobe InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop for design. The students learn design to print. So this is not just an art class, this is an actual CTE class where we are designing to print. And so you have to understand how to set files up for printing according to what substrate that you're going to print on. We also have a production certificate that we have partnered with Ivy Tech for. And if a student comes for 2 years, they are eligible to earn 18 college credit hours for Ivy Tech, which is free, which we think is a really big plus for this program. But again, students spend a lot of time in this area. This is design. Because of COVID, we had to put half of our computers in this room and half in the other room, so we actually have 24 seats. And so we'll go ahead and walk through, and we'll show you some of the printing aspects and some of the design aspects in the other room. So follow me. This area is where we have banner printing, we have vinyl cutting, we have a couple of washout stations for plates, we have a place where we can make plates for our digital press. This is a big area that we use a lot of. It's a lot of printing in here. We also have a dye sublimation printer back here that we can do for t-shirts and mugs. And then we'll walk this way. This is our other half of our design area, and this is a student who is working on a project in Illustrator currently, and she is one of our students who stayed after class to help me out. So she is working on a design project. Here are some examples of some items that students have designed. We do a lot of banners. The banners are usually about 5 to 6 feet. This Wrights Panthers is a banner. We did this for seniors at Wrights High School for baseball. This is actually a banner that we did for a company. They sponsored a Little League baseball team, and so we did this. We also designed these hall passes, and we're printing those currently. We do t-shirts, we do business cards. This area right here is a foldable pamphlet for our Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center. And this is something that one of our students designed, and it's a foldable. We also do mugs. This was something that NTI did for a fundraiser, and we designed and printed these mugs. We also do the coffee mugs as well, and we do drink with the flip top. We do drink containers. And if we go back here, this area, we have a folder which we use for different things like newsletters and things like that. We also have a digital printer. We have something that drills 3-hole punch in large stacks. This area is where we actually cut our banners down, and you can see that we have a couple of banners waiting to be cut down. This area, we do screen printing. We can't do it right now because of COVID. We're having to kind of cut back a little bit. So we have a screen printing area. The area in the back, we have a huge folder that can fold up to 4 different folds. We have a cutter We have a shrink wrap machine, so we do a lot of binding, we do a lot of bookwork in the back and a lot of cutting. This machine right here is actually a flexography machine, and it is a 6-color press, and we teach students how to run this press and how to make plates for it. So this is pretty good. We are one of the only high schools in the country that have a press that's a 6-color flat press. A lot of other high schools have the stack press, so we're very lucky to have this. Berry Global is a partner of ours, so Berry Global is a big help with this program. So let's go back up and see what Emma's working on right now. And one of the processes that you have to go through to become a student in this program is you have to fill out an application. And the application process is such that you fill out an application and you have to do an essay to attach to it, which is what I look at. I also look at discipline records. I look at your GPA if you've taken other art classes. I do a lot of research on who's in this class. You just need to remember that this class is not just an art class. You are learning a trade, and the trade is actually printing. Designing is a big part of that because you have to know how to design to print. A lot of questions that I get from students is, what happens if I miss school? Well, you can download the software at home because we have a license where if you're a student in this class, you can download the software at home so you can continue to work at home as well. I really appreciate you taking a tour of our graphic communications digital media area, and I will look forward to seeing your applications. You need to make sure that you do them early because this program usually fills up. So if you want to be part of our program, please make sure you go in and fill out your application early. And thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Jo Beth Boots, and I am the instructor of the Radio TV Communications program here at SICTC. And we're going to give you a little tour of our classroom and our program. But since we are socially distanced right now, I'm going to go ahead and remove my mask so that you can hear me even more clearly. So welcome to our classroom, which also serves as a studio for 90.7 WPSR. So if you come into our room, you're going to see our placard right here, which kind of outlines a few things about our course. First off, we do offer dual credit. We offer dual college credit through Vincennes University and the University of Southern Indiana. So we're very excited about those opportunities to give students college credit while they're learning about media. And also, we are starting certifications in our program. This is new, but we're very excited to be able to offer certifications in a lot of the technology and programs that we use. So if a student comes into our program, they're going to get to learn how to use Adobe Premiere, which is video editing software, Adobe Audition, which is audio editing software, and they're also going to be able to receive certifications in things like social media and even storytelling, because we have a lot of storytelling to do here. So you may be thinking, radio, TV, that sounds pretty fun, and it is, but there's so much more to radio and TV, which is why we have the communications part. So in our course, we cover everything from marketing to public relations to video game development to video production and so much more. So if you're a child or if you're a student and you have an interest in media, this is definitely the class that you want to dive into. So let's go ahead and take you inside because this is the best part. So if you want to follow me, this is actually our classroom and lab space. So we'll come into the main area right here, and this is actually one of our lab spaces where we do video production work. So we have all of our computers set to run both Adobe Rush and Adobe Premiere, which again are two programs that you would get to use. If you have no video editing experience, that's fine. We're going to teach you from day one how to do that. But you have plenty of time and opportunities in this room. Now, we're going to take you to one of our favorite spots, which is 90.7. Hopefully you listen to our station. It is an EVSE station run by high school students, but we're going to take you in the live on-air studio, and we actually have a student in there right now. So if you want to come follow me, we'll take you in there. One of the best parts about this program is no experience is necessary, and that's something that we love. Now, there is a student in here, so I'm going to mask up for safety and make sure that we're all taken care of. But I'm going to go ahead and open the door so that you can go right on in to see our control room. Welcome to 90.7. And this is Jim Starr. He is one of our student DJs, and he is actually running the audio console right now and going live at our studio, which is very exciting. All this technology, and this is something that students can do here at SICTC during class, especially our seniors. They get to do job rotations, and they actually run the station. We are so excited by that. But this might look overwhelming, but I promise we teach you all the basics, don't we, Jim Starr?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Ready? Woo! He's ready to go. So he's running everything in here right now. And now I'm going to take you into one of our production labs. So at 90.7 in the Radio TV Communications program, we actually have a number of lab spaces. We do have 3 audio production labs that students get to use, and we're going to take you inside one of those as well. So right in here, we have Tortuga, and he is actually one of our student DJs, and we're going to take you in there because he's working on a project. So again, we're going to mask up, and we're going to get started. So come on in. Hi, Tortuga. Tortuga is one of our senior students in the class. Tortuga, this is one of our audio production labs, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Now, would you mind showing us a little recording, doing something for us on the audio console?
This is Tortuga at SICTC, and you should join Radio TV. This is Tortuga at SICTC, and you should join Radio TV.
Look how easy that is. Again, this is all information and projects that you get to use. This is Adobe Audition, and this is our audio console, and we teach you every single component and how to use it effectively so that you can do projects. And that is the basis of our class. We are more project-based than we are other assignment or test-based. So instead of an examination, you may have a creative project that you have to do. And that's what makes this program so exciting. Now there's one more thing I want to show you before our time is up. So if you want to follow me, we're going to go into a room that you might be interested in. If you're interested in the video end of what we do, again, I'm going to remove my mask so I can hear me a little bit better. This is another lab space that we have, and we have video equipment and a green screen as well, in addition to a teleprompter. So if you're interested in broadcast news or you're just interested in video editing, this is a lab space that you get to use. We have professional grade cameras, and we teach you how to use all of this equipment down to how you even set up a microphone. So it's really exciting to be part of this class. It's very hands-on and it's very fun from start to finish. So we're going to take you back out, and we hope that you will become part of the Radio TV Communications program here at the Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center. My name is Mrs. JoBeth Boots, and you can contact me anytime if you have questions or concerns, and I hope that you apply. Thank you so much for visiting.
Hi, I'm Holly Schillinger, and I am the Animal Science and Vet Careers teacher here at SICTC. And yes, I said Vet Careers. Starting next year, changes are going to happen. We are going to offer a class called Vet Careers 1 to our first year students. It's very similar to the animal science class that we already offered, in that we're going to study livestock and anatomy and physiology, but we're also going to focus on the clinical aspects of maybe going out into an animal care facility such as the Humane Society or a vet's office, and in terms of being maybe a vet assistant. We are going to spend a lot of time focusing on the anatomy, the physiology, the care of an animal, the protocols that would happen in office management, and possibly, we will be going into the field to get some experience with vets, the Humane Society, etc. We're going to do dissections to help with our anatomy and physiology. One of the ones that we're going to do is let me set my mask down, is a brain dissection. We've already completed that one this year, so see, it is pretty similar. And then we are also going to look at the whole animal, and we're going to do a fetal pig dissection. And this one, he's okay, he just has something over his head right now. So those are examples of some of the hands-on projects that we're going to do to help learn with the anatomy and the physiology. And we're also going to do different lab techniques. We're going to grow bacteria for when we talk about biosecurity. And then we're going to focus on lab protocols that would happen with a vet service or something that a veterinarian would do. At the end of that second year, there's a possibility as you move forward with this program, if you complete enough hours in a clinical setting, which is a possibility here at SICTC when you can go out and do your internship. If you complete enough of those hours, then you have the opportunity to take an exam that will let you graduate with a vet assisting certificate if you've met those two criteria. That vet assisting certificate will allow you to go obtain an entry-level job in different settings, including going to work in a vet's office, or you will just have a leg up if you want to go ahead and go to a school like Murray State or Purdue, I'm plugging those two schools, to pursue a vet tech degree, or even go ahead and pursue vet medicine. But wait a minute, what happened to the animal science class? Well, that's still there too. So the kids that are in my first year class, currently for the fall of 2021, it's hard to say, we will still be offering an ALS Animals and Ag Business Management. So those students can go ahead and complete that pathway that they started. The ALS Animals is an advanced animal science class that we go even more in depth in animal nutrition, genetics, anatomy and physiology, the medical terminology, and animal management practices. The ag business management, it sounds kind of scary, but basically we just focus on what it takes to have a successful ag business, learn about money, loans, the different terminology that is involved with loans, what it takes to apply for a loan, what depreciation is, all kinds of budgeting and things that you might need to report for yourself to be able to get that loan, or to file taxes with an ag business. Now, are we focused on agriculture in that class? Absolutely. But those are real life examples that you can use even if you're just going to go get a loan for a car. So it's more of just a business class. We just specify certain businesses that we go for. All of the classes will offer dual credits. The veterinary careers will be through one of our partners here at SICTC. We're still working on some details with that. The afternoon classes, both classes, the ALS Animals and the Ag Business Management, we have dual credits through Ivy Tech Terre Haute. So I hope that gives you a brief introduction to my programs. I hope you apply, and we'll see you next fall.
Hello and welcome to the Culinary Arts Hospitality Program. I am Chef Ed Ellis and I'm the instructor here for the program. And we'll spend a few minutes here talking you through some of the opportunities that you'll have for the program, and then we'll do a little brief walkthrough of the classroom and the lab. So the first thing I want to point out is that we have a number of dual credits from Vincennes University. Vincennes is just up the road from Evansville, and the students can earn up to 14 dual credits. And at the college level, that's about a semester worth of credits. And right now there's no charge for the students, so it's a really, really good deal for the students. The other fun thing is that we do cook. We try and cook the majority of the time, 3 or 4 days a week. We're in the lab cooking, making things in the lab, and right now we are eating our homework. So the students today, they worked on chocolate chip cookies. Some of the students this morning, first year students, worked on some quick breads, buttermilk biscuits, and again, they get to eat what they make. So that's kind of one of the pluses with it. It's not a typical home ec family consumer science class. The program is designed to introduce you to the work field, the culinary field as far as work goes. Ideally, when you complete the program after 2 years, you'll be able to enter into the work field if you're not already there in something more than an entry-level position. And it also prepares you for college. The majority of the students that do go on to college are much better prepared for that college experience in the labs and things like that because they've actually spent time in the kitchen here. And then a couple other little things. We get to wear cool hats. So all the students do dress in uniform. They have a chef's uniform, pants, and a chef's hat that they wear when we do production in the kitchen. We are inspected by the health department, so we do have to follow all those health department rules, just like any other restaurant would have to follow. And then everybody wants to be your friend. The fact that we cook on a regular basis and there's always things to take out and take home and to eat and snack with, there's a lot of folks that want to be your best friend. What else? We'll take a brief little look around the classroom here. It's a little different setup this year, but we actually set up for about 24 students in class. And then this is our demonstration lab that we have here. And we do have guest speakers that come in. And also I demonstrate from this lab in here at least once a week usually. I usually do the hands-on demonstrations before the students actually go into the kitchen and do their lab work. Textbook-wise, I get that question a lot. So our program uses a college-level text on both the programs. The first-year students, their textbook is actually a Johnson & Wales University textbook, and that entitles those students, if they do choose to go to Johnson & Wales University, which there's 2 campuses that they can attend, they can get some academic scholarship because of the fact that we use that textbook. And the other one that we use is one that's used by Ivy Tech University, Vincennes University, the Culinary Institute of America. They all use that type of college level text. So again, the students, when they leave the program, they're kind of a leg up on some of the other students that may not have been through a culinary program and didn't have that same opportunity. We can walk through the kitchen. If we want to take a little tour of the kitchen, we can see inside the kitchen. The kitchen itself is, I think we're about 14 or 15 years old, something like that. So the students currently work in individual stations. They work side by side with another student. They're often paired, depending on what they're making. Students may be making an entree, they may be making a soup or a salad, something of that nature. And their station is dictated by whatever it is that they're working on at the current time. We have, as far as equipment goes, pretty much any type of equipment that you might find in a commercial setting in food service. There's a steamer, there's a convection oven, there's food warmers, there's freezers, there's refrigerators. We have the large, super heavy-duty mixer here that you might find in some large establishments. So the students do really get an opportunity to work on a variety of equipment, and there's not really many things that they would not know how to operate if they walked into an operating kitchen, which is, again, it's a big plus for the students. The students do every aspect of the operation. So in addition to the lab, the cooking portion of it, the students do all the cleaning. They do the floor sweeping, mopping, trash, just like running a restaurant. We have a restaurant that's attached to the program. And they actually operate that restaurant as a profitable endeavor. Traditionally, we are self-funded, so we get all of our funds from the fact that we sell stuff, and we have customers come in and have lunch with us. So some of the jobs that you might be interested in, other than a chef's position, some of my students have went on to be bakers. There are chefs that actually don't work in restaurants, but maybe do private catering. I have a number of students that are in private catering now. I have students that work on cruise ships. I have one student locally that is a food scientist. They left the program and went into a nutrition program, and they're a food science major. If you like sports, there's sports nutritionists and chefs and private chefs for most all of the major athletes that are out there. I have one young man about 10 years ago that was at Sullivan University in Louisville, Kentucky, and he went on to cook for the U.S. Olympic team in China in 2000, which I thought was a pretty cool thing. As far as food goes, it really hasn't changed in hundreds of years. If you learn the basic techniques, there's really nowhere that you can't go and cook food. And the opportunity will always be there. People always will eat. So they're always going to be hungry, and they always want someone to bring them something new. It's a 2-year program. Ideally, we want you here both years. You do not have to have any prerequisites. It is a plus if you've had some kind of food class or nutrition class or something of that nature. You'll understand the cups and the quarts and the ounces and things like that a little bit better if you have had one of those classes. But it's not mandatory. It is definitely not mandatory. We take 24 students every year. The big thing is to get your application in, get it in on time or early if you can, and then we let students know sometime in January. Once we get everything figured out, that's when we do our selection process.
Welcome to Health Science Education. I'm Gwen Barnett.
I'm Julie Woodruff.
And I am Angie Pruitt.
And we're going to take you through our health science program and let you know a few things that we expect from students when they apply for this program. It's pretty simple. We like you to have biology and chemistry, if you can have that by the time you apply. If you can't get the chemistry in, then we suggest you go ahead and take it during your junior year while you're still here. We also would like you to have some volunteer experience under your belt. We think that's really important, and to make contact with one of us so that we kind of know who you are. Everything in here is done by application. We score you with a rubric, and we're looking for students who have great attendance, no discipline issues. They are willing to work and work hard to learn because they all have goals in mind. So what we do in our health science program is actually the first year is a combination of anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, and health science, which includes career exploration, professionalism, and leadership. So I'll turn it over to Mrs. Pruitt. She can tell you a little bit about the anatomy and phys and the med terms. And then Mrs. Woodruff will tell you about the health science and professionalism. And then when we're finished, I'll talk to you a little bit about second year.
Okay, I'm Angie Pruitt again, and I teach anatomy and physiology and med terms. And in med terms, that is where you will be receiving dual credit for USI. In anatomy, that is a core 40 science, so you would obtain that as well. Anatomy and physiology is a class that goes over multiple systems, and the medical terminology is set up very much like a college course, and that's what A&P is as well. We're trying to prepare you for college as well as giving you multiple life skills that are required. Whether that be presentation skills, just how to speak with someone, have eye contact. We work on time management and organization in my class, and also how to set up timing for long-term assignments. It is not an easy course, but it is very doable. All of us have expectations, and though they may be high than what you may be used to, they are all, they're doable to reach that. And at any time, we are here to support your education and make sure that you have a successful time and that you are ready for life and that you are ready for college. Ms. Woodruff?
Right, yes, I'm going to take this up while I talk to you. So I'm Mrs. Woodruff. I am lucky enough to be able to teach the health careers piece. So we have over 300 healthcare careers, and we cover as many as we can in class. We do a lot of group work in my class, a lot of presentations, so we learn a lot of teamwork. I also cover professionalism, leadership. We do a lot with our national organization, HOSA, so we incorporate that into the classroom as well. We do CPR and first aid in the spring semester of my class, which Mrs. Barnett and I will teach together this year, and that is a dual credit course through USI. We do a lot of as many hands-on activities as we can the first year, and just really trying to prepare the students for second year with Mrs. Barnett.
Okay, so I guess it's back to second year. In the second year program, we're going to take everything that the students learned during their first year and we're going to put it to work in the classroom and in the labs. A couple of things you should know before we go into our area is that it doesn't look anything like it normally looks. This has been a very different kind of year, and in order to accommodate the number of students that we have, our two big patient labs have been made into classrooms for the first year program, which means there aren't any beds in these rooms, only in some of the private rooms. So we'll show you a little bit of the private rooms and then take you through the senior classroom and a couple of the patient exam rooms. So a couple of things that I've done this year that are different. I've done some training videos so that the students can actually access those on their own and watch demonstrations of how I like skills to be done within the classroom setting. Hopefully that will give them an insight into how I teach that and help them practice when they're not on site. A couple of other things for second year. We have 2 dual credit courses that are part of the second year through USI, which will allow them to get 6 college credits during their senior year if they choose to take those courses. Some certifications that we're working on, obviously, are our professional rescuer CPR, which we do first year. And then second year, we've done a few little extra added bonus things. We're doing Career Safe, which is the OSHA 10-hour training program for healthcare this year. We have done youth mental health first aid. This year is going to be a little different. Not sure if we're going to get that in because it's better to have it all on site with a large group of people. And then as we move through, the students then will actually get to do internships second semester. We generally start in February. And we're already working on that because at least one of our major institutions is definitely on board for doing internships in healthcare. So why don't we go ahead in and let's just see what we have to offer. Okay, so this is what would be a very large patient lab against the wall where you see the blood pressure cuffs. You would have beds, and the students would have access to wheelchairs and walkers and all of those kinds of things. They learn to make beds. They learn to make a bed with somebody in it. They learn range of motion exercises. They learn alignments for different types of examinations. We do blood pressures, we do pulses, respirations, apical pulses, and just general activities. How do you get a person in bed? How do you get a person out of bed, in a chair, out of a chair, put on a gait belt, walk them, and make sure that they understand that this covers everything in healthcare. We're not just geared toward one particular career in healthcare because when you're in healthcare, you never know what you're going to be called upon to do. And so that's why we try to do what is called a very non-specific discipline. We let them pick and choose what things they'd like to move on to in their future, but give them the good basic techniques that we will expect them to have if we wanted a good healthcare worker. When we look in this room, we'll turn a light on. This was a private patient room where students could do check-offs, bed making. We made it into a PT room so that Mrs. Woodruff, who is a PT, can utilize some of the things that we have gotten in here. And she has ultrasound, hydroculator, obviously our massage table, which comes in handy once in a while, and we keep our lift in here so that the students get a little bit of other activity. Some of the things that they might do might pertain to occupational therapy as well, and so I think it's really important that they understand that. Is this room clean? Okay, so we've got another patient room down here that is set up for skill practicing individually. And I hope you like all of our mannequins. They are here for the students to enjoy and to touch, actually. We're very big on infection control in health science, so this isn't anything new for us. When you look in here, this is actually one individual room. We have 3 others that can be set up. This is an isolation room, and so the students can actually come in here and work by themselves, practicing donning and removing protective equipment, working with a patient in bed, sometimes a mannequin, practice pressures, pulses, and all the good things that go with it. Moved a scale in here so they can learn how to do height and weight and not have to be in with the general population, which we're trying to eliminate this year. So we have 3 rooms that are like this. Now we'll go out this way. Ladies, just say anything you want.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Since we're in here, one of the things about the anatomy and physiology is that we do a lot of hands-on with the mannequins. We also used to do hands-on as well with each other and the students. And so there are alternate ways that we have done that. We're looking at, we've been using visible bodies somewhat, and we'll increase with that this year. Sometimes there's skills, because we don't have the beds, and usually Miss Barnett is using them, sometimes we'll utilize our tables. So those are things that we do. We try and give as much hands-on as we can in relationship to that.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note as well, we are all healthcare workers or have worked in the field at some point. Mrs. Pruitt, she is a nurse, and then Mrs. Barnett has the microbiology and lab background, and she is definitely our infection control guru. And then my background, I'm a physical therapist assistant and also have a nutrition degree. So we incorporate as much diversity from healthcare as we can and really give the students an experience from what we have experienced, and tell them stories from what we have seen in healthcare. So I think it really has helped that we work in healthcare, and so we really know how to teach healthcare and things related to healthcare.
Definitely agree with that. I think that's a really big plus for students when they have an educator who has actually worked in the field in which they wish to study. We want to go down this way a little bit. We'll just make a little zigzag around and come over into, this is the senior classroom. And so the senior classroom is an actual medical lab. And so I'm lucky enough to be able to have my morning group in here because there's not 25 or 30 of them, so we can space them out. And they've been, you can see we've got all kinds of things around because trying to make it where the kids have things for themselves. And so we can do, right now we've been working on infection control, and infection control takes a very long time to try to get them to understand how important it is. We studied pandemics this last week. They've been watching a video on HIV, which is very interesting. Tomorrow we're going to have political discussion on that. It ought to be kind of fun. They're going to learn how to use this autoclave. They'll learn how to do the incubator. They've already made a culture or two, just because those are things that they need to know when they see them out in the field, what it is. We have a prep lab where we can make culture media. We have a storage room for our PPE and for our mechanical aids. And if we go this way, we also have a couple of patient exam rooms that look just like a doctor's office. And so you can kind of get a look in here, and they're getting ready to start doing some checkoffs within the next week or so. So we have that lovely healthcare setting. Just got a new scale, still got to put it together. We try to stay as state of the art as we can, and hopefully keep the kids up to snuff on what they need. So, anything else that we need to talk about this morning?
No, just we'd like for you to make sure when you do apply online at SICTC.com for the Health Science Education Program, there is a place down there that is is an area to write a paragraph. And one of the things is please write a good paragraph describing even prior employment that you may have had, any volunteer work, things that you might be interested in, why you believe that you would be a good candidate for our program. It is extremely competitive, and so we look at GPAs. It's not the only thing, it's actually the last thing that we look at, but we do like to see 2.5 and above in order to kind of meet that criteria on our rubric. Make sure, of all things, have somebody read that paragraph to make sure that the grammar and everything is correct. That tells a lot about a person, so we would like to see some good paragraphs come in as well.
Okay,
And I would like to say I actually went through this program whenever I was in high school at the Old North High School. And if you have an interest in going into the healthcare field, this really does set a great foundation for you before you go on to post-secondary. You learn a lot about teamwork, a lot about leadership, a lot about yourself. When the students come in here first year, they are totally different students from when they leave here and graduate. And a lot of them do go on to work in healthcare because this does set a great foundation for those who want to go into the healthcare field.
I think that's really true. So if anybody's interested in finding out more information, you can always send us emails. We all have an EVSC email, which is our first name dot last name at evsck12.com. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. If you want to call us, obviously we have phone numbers. You can find those on the SICTC website. And, we're always available for all of those that have questions. We do get students from 5 counties. About 20 different high schools can apply. And so as Mrs. Pruitt said, it gets to be a little competitive, so we want you to be really at the top of your game, and we definitely like good attendance. That's a big, big piece. We like good attendance. So I think that's all we have to say.
We look forward to seeing you next year.
Perhaps without a mask.
Yes, hopefully without the mask or the shields.
I think that's it. Okay. Anybody else?
No, thank you very much for your interest in us.
So the public safety program at the Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center, like many of the other programs here, is a 2-year program for high school juniors and seniors. In this program, we concentrate on the different aspects and areas in public safety and first responders. So first semester, junior year, we study fire science. It's kind of overview of everything in the fire service from history, safety, apparatus, ladders, hoses, kind of overview of everything in the fire service. Second semester, junior year, is Introduction to Criminal Justice and Policing. And we begin that semester by talking about the court system and corrections, jails, and prisons, and then spend a lot of time talking about law enforcement and policing. The second year, senior year, the whole first semester is an emergency medicine class called Emergency Medical Responder. It's a class that's certified through the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, and for students that successfully complete the class and their skills test and their written certification test, they get a certification through the state of Indiana, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, as an emergency medical responder. And in the last semester of the program, second semester, senior year, the first 9 weeks we do criminal investigations. The last 9 weeks of the year we do a criminology class, which is mainly theory on why people commit crimes, why is crime higher than one area than another, and those sort of theoretical aspects. The second semester senior year, for those students interested in the fire science side, there are some internships available. That is not really available on the law enforcement side because the internships that the law enforcement agencies offer are just for college students. There is a total of 9 hours of dual credit available. 6 hours for the first semester junior year, and 3 hours second semester junior year, and then another 6 hours of dual credit for the senior year. That's about it.
That's great. Then do you want to take us inside and you can just kind of show us some of your equipment?
Sure. So obviously this is a fire truck that was donated to the program. It was a truck that was in use by Alcoa Water Operations, and when they replaced it, they donated it to us. It's fully equipped and fully functional, and we use that first semester junior year when we're doing the fire science studies. Inside here, you see a number of other vehicles. Actually, all these vehicles were donated to the program by different people in the community. We have, for each student in the class, at the beginning of the class, the junior year when we're doing fire science, they get a set of turnout gear issued to them that we use in our hands-on training. The vehicles we use for some scenario-based training, and then we also use those to assist in community events. We help out agencies like 911 Gives Hope. We're involved in helping out with a lot of the fundraising charities that they do as well. There's no prior training or experience required to apply to the program. So we'll get you set up with everything you need. As far as things to help you out, if you are interested in a career in public safety, the most important thing that I can do or recommend is, you work hard, try to get good grades, obviously stay out of trouble if you want a career in public safety, because all the different public safety agencies will do background checks, and just try to do something to kind of set yourself apart from other people, like volunteering at any place that you're interested in. So it could be Humane Society, your church, whatever. Doing something besides just what you have to do to kind of set you apart from other people.